Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Vanita, and if you're new here, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. I'm glad to see you. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys must-read books. Now, these books aren't just Vanita's favorite books. No, these are books that everyone needs to read. Yes, I've read every single one of them, and yes, I love each one of them. So I'm sure you guys will love them too. Let's get into the books. The first the first book I'm going to share with you guys is, I'm pretty sure this is like a book that a lot of people recommend. It's a classic. It's a bestseller, I'm pretty sure, New York best time. I mean, it says on the front, New York Times best-selling author. This is a book that a lot of people know about, and it is The 5 Lessons a Millionaire Taught Me About Life and Wealth by Richard Paul Evans. Now, this is, I would consider this a personal finance book, but it's also just like one of those personal finance books, but it has a lot of stories and things woven into it. I feel like this is a good book for anybody who just wants to start out on their getting their finances together, but it's not like really like diving too deep into it. But I really love this book because it has practical lessons, practical tips, and also I love that one of the tips is to give back, because I believe that blessed to be a blessing. So this book is definitely a must read. The next book is The Defining Decade: Why Your Twenties Matter and How to Make the Most of Them Now. This is by Meg J. And I don't think I mentioned, but I will link all the books down below so you can check them out and buy them for yourselves. Now, this book is one that I personally love. It's one of those books that I think everybody from the age of 18 to 29 should read, because it really is about making the most of your 20s. A lot of people are like, oh, your 20s are just years just to do whatever. But it's about planning, living your best life in your 20s, and preparing to live your best life throughout your life. Because it even discusses topics such as parenthood, like deciding that, do I want to be a mother or not? And so it's a book about getting ahead of things before you're on the other side of things, and you can't make the decisions or move the way you want to move because you didn't make the decisions in the past. There are certain decisions you need to make now to prepare for the future. So this book is really good, and I think it does a great job of telling you certain things that you need to focus on as a 20-something. The next book is this one, Essentialism, and this is by McKeown. And y'all, I'm really a bookworm, so every single one of these books I just absolutely love. These are tried and true, so just wanted to let y'all know that. It's called Essentialism: The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. So this book is really about focusing on less things but making more of an impact. And it's really about just like honing in on certain things and what are the essentials, what really matters in your personal life, and focusing on those things and pretty much nothing else. This book is really, really good, especially for the people who just want to do so many different things and be all over the place and do this or do that. Definitely check this one out. Now, this next book, I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned this on my channel before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's that good. It's called Grace Not Perfection by Emily Lay. This book is definitely a must read. And this book is, as you can see by the title, this is a book for women. Christian women specifically. It's really just about having grace with yourself and your life. And I'll just like tell you, it's about pretty much every area of your life. Like, this is one of the part 1, grace with yourself; part 2, grace with your people; and part 3, grace in your calling. This book is really, really good, and it's one of those books that I reference time and time again when I'm thinking about something. And it has like little tidbits and ideas in here. Like, for example, I have a photo album on my coffee table right now, and that's because like she was saying how important it is to have items that really bring you joy front and center. Don't put those pictures and just hide them away somewhere. Have them somewhere where you can look through them and see them. And that was just an idea, but there's plenty of ideas in here and things to do to really help you fulfill purpose, live your best life, and things of that nature. So I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. And this is one of those books that I feel like I can even grow into, because she talks about grace and motherhood and things, and I'm not a mother yet, but there's certain things that I read. Like, I mean, I read the section on, I read the book front cover to cover, but there are certain things that didn't even apply to me yet. But I know that when I am in that season, I will be able to pick this book up and look at it and be able to reference it. So definitely a good book to have and to buy. This is a good book to buy because you really can reference it. Then the next book I have here is Girls in White Dresses by Jennifer Close. This is a fiction book, and this book is so good, y'all. This is a book that I highly recommend for people who like stories that have love and friendship and things of that nature in them. It showcases three girls, and I want to say they're in their 20s throughout the whole book, but just going throughout their life with relationships, jobs, and just friendships and everybody around them getting married, those kinds of things. But I thought this book was very realistic. You know, some books you read, you're like, yeah, I can tell this is a book. Like, nah, this book was really good. It was laugh out loud funny. Like, there were some parts that were just so relatable that I literally was cracking up. And when a book can make you laugh, now you know the writer is doing something good. This was well written. It was very realistic, and I loved it. And another thing about that book, it's not like your typical love story where and everything ends happily ever after. That may be a spoiler. I don't think that's a spoiler, but it's just not that typical, you know, cookie cutter love story. Last book I want to recommend is another fiction book. It's called Once a Liar by A.F. Brady. And it's about a lawyer getting tied up in something where all of a sudden it's looking as if he killed somebody, and it's a big thing, and all the evidence is pointing towards him. And it's a really good book. I suggest you guys check it out. I love suspense and I love love stories. That's like the kind of fiction books I like to read. And I also love fiction books that are kind of about relationship. Not necessarily like girlfriend and boyfriend or husband and wife, but just like the relationship maybe between sisters or friends. You know, like the books that are heavy into the relationship dynamic. I love books like that. And then I like to read, of course, like self-help books, books about personal finance, and books about personal development, things of that nature. So those are kind of books I personally like to read. So most of these books fall into that. But y'all, comment down below any books that you suggest that I read, because I'm always looking to read a good book. And y'all, I highly recommend every one of these books. And I suggest you buy them, because guess what? I know you have time on your hands to be reading books. And why not? Why not get a little bit, well, why not be entertained? Why not get bettered? Why not learn something? These books are all good. And I'm a picky reader, because I don't just read any book. I will read a page of a book. Like, I go to the bookstore. Sometimes I'll read like the first couple pages just to see, is this the kind of book that I want to read? Because if I don't like it in the first couple pages, I'm not going to read it. So I highly suggest you guys go ahead and buy these books. And it's funny because I cannot believe I'm saying buy books, because I used to be somebody who was like, I will not buy books, the library only. But guess what, y'all? Life switched up on me. This new normal we have going on. Can't go to the library. The library's closed. So half-price books it is, though, because I still need to save some money. If it's not at half-price books, then I'll go on Amazon. But half-price books, or if you don't have half-price books, always go on Amazon and look for used versions of books, because they're a lot cheaper. So I always do that. That's another tip. But make sure that y'all are staying busy, finding things to do. Reading is one of my ways to stay busy, and something I love to do. Also, I want you guys to comment down below if you have any video ideas for me. This is another thing I love to do, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it more. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you do liking the video is the biggest way you can support me. Like this video, please, because it gets the momentum, it gets it going. And then subscribe if you've not already. I mean, I hope you've already subscribed, but if not, make sure you subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love each and every one of y'all. Until next time, toodles.